What is the technique, the mystical approach to the cosmic or the divine mind for help in time of need? Each of us is all too aware of our own personal limitations. Regardless of the degree of confidence we have, or what success we may have attained in the past, we eventually discover that there are things which are beyond our individual capabilities. We all are eventually confronted by some situation to which our intelligence is not equal, or for which our education is not adequate. As a result, we are faced with defeat when we have exhausted all our personal powers. There is only one solution in such a circumstance, and that is to have recourse to something, some power, some being, some intelligence which transcends ourselves. Our limitations need not necessarily hold us back in life. Beyond our personal powers lies the source of all power, the great cosmic, the divine intelligence. Our creative abilities, our initiative, our personal powers of attainment are but a trickle from the great inner reservoir of our being. It is true, as has often been said by psychologists, that we ordinarily use but a small percentage of our mental potentialities. We must realize that we are not isolated beings. We are not separated from the source which has created us. We do have access to that which created us. In fact, we are a part of it. The mind or cosmic intelligence which has ordained our being and which preserves it in its various forms can be appealed to. It can be directed. Now, when we appeal to someone or to something, we are expressing a desire. We are indicating a want of some kind. We might say that our prayers are desires, which are either made vocative, that is, spoken, or which remain silent within our own consciousness. In appealing to the cosmic, in expressing a desire, the question of what is the right or the wrong desire is a very important one. Having in mind the wrong desire may result in an unanswered appeal in our petition. For example, a purely selfish, a wholly mercenary desire is very difficult to bring before the cosmic, the divine intelligence. Most assuredly, we cannot expect to have such a desire gratified. First, however, let us realize that seemingly selfish desires are not always actually so. Suppose one appealed to the cosmic for a much larger home, perhaps a home that is better in appearance, has superior arrangements or accommodations, or is in a more favorable location. Now, such an appeal may actually be free from any selfish motive. One may have a growing family, and as a result, the accommodations of the present home are not adequate. To rear the children comfortably and properly, one needs a larger home or improved living conditions for their health. Then again, the environment or particular location of the home may not be best for the children. It may be too distant for school, or the associations not advantageous to the development of their character. Consequently, then, an appeal incorporating these desires would not be cosmically interpreted as a purely selfish or personal objective. Is an appeal for the improvement of one's health to be construed as a strictly personal motive? We shall begin our answer to that by saying that depends on why we want good health. In appealing for good health, It is not sufficient to stress just one's personal freedom from distraction, from pain, from discomfiture, or even from concern about our health. On the other hand, if we want good health, in order to pursue a course of service to our family, to our friends, or to society, then such an appeal is in order. In other words, if we can benefit our family, or friends, or someone besides our immediate selves by attaining good health, then we have a right to make that an object of our appeal to the cosmic. We may further say that to want good health, just to inspire others, to arouse them from despondency, or to show what can be obtained by vitality, is a proper motive too. What of money? Can we ask the cosmic, divine intelligence, to improve our financial affairs, to help us obtain more money, and yet sincerely say that such a desire is not mercenary? Let us be frank. It is necessary that we remove the imagined or hypocritical stigma which some people have come to associate with money. Money is not a necessary evil, nor is evil inherent in money. From a philosophical point of view, good and evil are but evaluations which man places upon the qualities of his experiences. In other words, the manner in which an experience is related to our own personal interests or welfare determines whether we shall call that experience good or evil. The same may be said of objects or things. They are good or evil depending upon their relation to the purposes we have in mind. A power of any kind can, therefore, be either good or evil depending on man's application of that power, his final use of it. It must be obvious to everyone that money is a potential power. It can be used to accomplish innumerable things. Now, the way in which money is used becomes a moral responsibility of man. Whether the particular employment of money is evil depends upon our conception of human relations. If it affects these human relations detrimentally, we are inclined to think of the power of money as evil. Simply put, the reason you want money determines whether your cosmic appeal is proper or not. To use money to pay just debts is certainly a proper motive. It is also proper to ask for finances to educate ourselves, to improve ourselves for a better position or profession, or to provide for the future of our children, and even to acquire funds for the necessities of life. It is also not objectionable from the cosmic point of view to appeal for money so as to acquire moderate luxuries, things that make living more comfortable and enjoyable. However, to seek money for extravagances, which constitute a waste, would be cosmically improper. It is essential that we come to understand that the cosmic, this divine mind, does not have any code of morals or prohibitions or regulations of any kind corresponding to those which man conceives. Whatever man knows within himself, whatever his conscience tells him is right and proper with respect to his society and his relation to his fellows, that is cosmically proper. It is immaterial whether or not other persons accept the same view. Consequently, it is not the particular use of money, but rather the motive behind our use, which is the cosmic factor and which determines whether our appeal will be granted. The Rosicrucian studies warn its members that a constant appeal to the cosmic for anything is out of order. The reason for this is that we are denying the powers, the faculties and judgment with which we have been cosmically endowed, and which we should exercise. To use an analogy, one cannot ignore the common sense principles of economy and thrift and dissipate his funds or resources and then turn to the cosmic asking that his needs be met. Furthermore, if one's appeal is accepted by the cosmic, one must not expect that it will materialize in a literal pouring of money into one's lap from some unknown source like manna from heaven. It is cosmically required that we have a plan in mind when we make our petition. That plan includes the proper motive. The nature of our petition to the cosmic must be in the form of a request for illumination, for an influx of knowledge as an idea or ways and means by which, through our own efforts, initiative, and intelligence, we can provide what we need. The cosmic does not give us directly the object of our appeal. It does not provide money bags or a blank cashier's check. Rather, it always affords us the opportunities, the ways and means by which to materialize, by our own efforts, that which we want. In that way, then, we have a chance to use the powers and faculties which we have as cosmic gifts. It is essential in petitioning the cosmic for help that we do not think of that aid solely in terms of our immediate needs. There are those who do this and then, after these needs are met, revert to their usual way of life. In petitioning, we must think in terms of tomorrow. We must visualize, if we can, an extension into the future of the help we want now. We must use what we get now in the proper way for the future as well. Let me reiterate that selfishness, in the cosmic sense, is that which is wholly personal and from which the petitioner alone will derive benefit. We must also remember, in petitioning, that we cannot deceive the inner self. We cannot ask for one thing and indicate a certain motive, and yet, within ourselves, intend to use what we receive in an entirely different way. The inner self knows what we want to do with that for which we are asking, and we know that it knows. We must not appear before the cosmic as a hypocrite. Provided then that the desire and motive are proper, just how do we make the appeal to the cosmic? Just what technique is employed? When we speak of attunement with the cosmic, we really mean our having a consciousness of the cosmic mind, bringing our own consciousness in harmony with the plane of the universal cosmic mind. To have a better understanding of cosmic consciousness, which mystical attunement really is, I like to reverse the order of the two words, for I think it helps us. Let us say consciousness of the cosmic, for that is what cosmic consciousness is. It means having a personal realization of the great universal mind. We are often likely to think of this cosmic or universal mind with which we are to attune as being external or apart from us. There are some persons who even look into the sky as though God or the cosmic were not only beyond this earth and the planets, but even beyond our universe, far out into the reaches of space. The fact is that the cosmic mind, either as consciousness or order, is in all things. It is in every minute cell of our being. The ancient Stoics said that the universal consciousness, or the great mind of ultimate reality, is as well the consciousness of all living things. They meant that the intelligence of a blade of grass, or of a more complex organism like an animal, is an extension of the great mind. They also said that this universal consciousness is the very essence of inanimate things. The physical laws constituting the atomic structure of the elements is part of the same universal mind, but on a lower scale of manifestation. This great universal mind, or the cosmic, then, is both the vital life force which makes beings animate and the energy of which their material substance is composed. With these thoughts in mind, we come to appreciate the fact that the cosmic mind is not remote from us, but its closest point is within our own selves. Each of us forms a little niche in this cosmic consciousness. That is, we are not separate, but an integral part of the universal one. It is like the little markers which we see on the edge of a ruler. Each little marker contributes to the dimensions of the ruler. Or we may think of ourselves as being the wave bands of color. These wave bands may seem separate, yet united they compose the whole spectrum of visible light. Red, green, and blue, the primary colors, when brought into harmony, produce the white light of the sun. And so our separate consciousnesses are really a part of the great universal consciousness. When we are in attunement with the cosmic, we then, for that moment, realize our own niche, our relationship to all the other niches, to all the other manifestations of which the Absolute consists. It is then that we become one in personal consciousness with the creative forces of the universe. We find ourselves literally floating in a great vibratory sea of cosmic forces, which we can realize and use, and of which we were heretofore not conscious. Contacting these cosmic forces becomes a momentary channel for them and is a tremendous stimulus to us. It results in a rejuvenation of our psychic, our mental, and our physical being. We experience a sort of ecstasy, a feeling of inspiration, of having risen above the fears, doubts, and distresses we experienced previously. There is acquired a confidence in personal attainment, accompanied by a flow of ideas and the resultant self-mastery. It is after such attunement that we become conscious of those ways and means by which we can satisfy the desires of our petition to the cosmic. What is the technique, the mystical approach to the cosmic